Hello and welcome to Compelled to Impact, a channel where experts share wisdom, knowledge, experiences, and ways you can renew your mind and transform your life. I'm so grateful for you stopping here and listening. I'd love to hear what you think of each episode and if they help you expand your life in new ways. If what I talk about makes you ask more questions, then that's good too. One of the best traits to create a better life for yourself is curiosity. Test what I say or what anyone says. No one is 100% right all the time. We all have a different perception and different experiences. So make sure you leave grace for errors. Today is episode 67, Forgive Yourself. Now, I'm sorry about this camera. I've been playing with it all morning to make sure that it's not shining in my glasses, reflecting in my glasses. It doesn't really bother me, but I think the video is not so great when it's reflecting blue light in my glasses. So sorry about that. I'll be working on it. And if anybody knows how to fix this and you want to help me, I am open to receive. Okay, so today's episode is about forgiving yourself. Why is it so important to forgive yourself? Every time you make a choice that is out of alignment with your spirit, in other words, incongruent with your inner being, it has the potential to take you down a wrong path. You know deep down in your gut when it doesn't feel right, but you do it anyway. Or maybe you don't feel the resistance because your compass is broken. That's not great either and should be a warning sign. Many years ago, when I was young and naive, my compass was malfunctioning from poor input for a lot of my life, and it took me down a painful road. I didn't do anything horrible, but I chose wrong people in my life, apparently. Here's where it pays to take it slow when making choices. Make sure it's going to add good value to your life and not subtract. The good thing I did get was my wonderful children. So that's definitely a redeeming factor. Now, I know how hard it is when you're young, making decisions for fun, excitement, or even danger. Or it could be that you aren't getting the best guidance. It's not easy to heed warnings from parents or other authorities if you get any. After all, what do they know? Then we move along in years and we think things will be different. It's true to some degree, but we're only as different and better than we were before, depending on the choices we've made along the way. Sometimes we don't see any destruction or anything that needs forgiveness in our lives until much later, way after the fact. It's okay. We all make mistakes, hopefully learning from them. And it's okay to stop and turn it all around. No matter what, it's best to do your own research. Think it all through to the best outcome or result of your choice, especially if it's deeply life-changing. Get as much information on both sides of the decision as much as possible, and then take your time so you don't have only regret left to hold on to. I know there are many people who think their personal choices don't affect anyone else, but that's not true. Everything you think, do, or say affects someone else. It changes the way you treat others and the way you see yourself. It may not always be the truth. The vibrations of energy are enough to create good or unsavory ripples. So be aware of this as well. There are times you will think you're doing the right thing because you only know what you know at the time. It's possible you don't have all the information. It's like finding a good restaurant or buying a car. You need to look at all the bad reviews as well as the good ones. These days, riding the information highway, it's so much easier to educate yourself. And that's such a weird cliche. When we made decisions in the past, Research was like walking through a forest at dusk without a flashlight. It was murky and very time-consuming at best. If you were fortunate enough to have a mentor who cared about you, that you could trust, who would guide you and challenge your choices, that was a bonus. However, most people didn't have that privilege. Without proper nurturing guidance, even throughout adulthood, wrong choices can be devastating. I was naive and compliant. It came from years of misguided authority. Then being caught between two different agendas, neither of which was mine, I didn't have enough information or confidence to make educated choices. Then there's the other side of the equation, which is you. At any age, in any era, if there's a question of any level of pride or rebellion, or just not being sure if the choice is right for you, it only takes one wrong small step after another to take you down the wrong path. Those choices could alter your life forever. I know someone who was so prideful about their decisions and a bit divisive to get what they wanted. They told half-truths that grew into lies. Let's name them X. It's true that X's life is now everything they ever hoped for, but too many bridges have been burned. If the people in the life of X has built ever found out the truth, it would destroy X completely. There is another choice, living with the outcome of the original choice that took you there in the first place. That's where grace and forgiveness comes in. The same way one small half-truth at a time changed X's life course, one new truth at a time has the ability to restore them. This comes from forgiveness and grace to allow oneself to make a U-turn. It does depend on everyone involved to give grace to X with forgiveness that sets X free from the trap that they set for themselves. But it still begins with X taking that first step. Of course, this is an extreme example, but really, every one of us only knows what we know at the time, and only from our own perspective. There's really nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with making changes. Two people looking at the same thing from two different angles will see the same element, but differently. We need to know that about each other, and we need to have grace for each other because of that. You make choices of thoughts, words, and actions from your perspective. It's okay not to be completely right. You don't need to put your flag on every hill. It's okay to make mistakes. That's how you learn what not to do, as well as broaden your perspective and experience to learn what you do want for your life. Never let pride or arrogance get in the way of getting a new chance to start again from your experiences. None of your past poor choices or mistakes make you worth less, especially when you use your time, energy, and resources in the present to change your future for the better. Every time you do this, you change the atmosphere around yourself to turn the chaos you created into ripples of goodness. It happened. Learn from it. Let that veil of darkness fall away from your life and move into a new era of shining your light. Don't carry the pain of unforgiveness and resentment into the next part of your life. Acknowledge and surrender the hold that you have on yourself. Release yourself from pride and ego so that your motivation and actions become pure, rooted in grace and love. In this state of being, you can more easily forgive others and accept their forgiveness, as well as from yourself. This is really important, and that's why I decided to make an episode just about forgiving oneself. I appreciate you for listening to my channel, for subscribing, sharing, and interacting. Keep seeking and learning. Stay open to possibilities of grace compassion, and love. And as always, live excellently, give generously, and love lavishly. That's all for now. Oh. All right. Bye. Mwah.